afternoon, everyone. My name is Tammy Martin.
And I'm John Martin.
And we are the founders of Young Black Leadership Alliance. YBLA is a nonprofit organization that builds young Black men and women into leaders starting in the 11th grade through college and into their early professional careers. Our mission is to build leaders who will make a positive impact in the world. It is our vision to create a new reality for these young Black men and women so the world will see them for the leaders, role models, and change agents that we know that they are. This vision is why these conversations are so important.
Absolutely. Today is our fifth segment in Community Conversation with our wonderful partners at DHG. We want to thank DHG for starting the charge on this initiative and building an alliance with us to end racial injustice and inequality in the Black community. We're using the acronym STAND to describe this initiative. STAND is for seize the moment, talk to others, act on your biases, no more silence, and donate your resources. We invite you to stand with us for a better tomorrow in the Charlotte community.
Yes, absolutely. To tell you a little bit about this initiative, YBLA Community Conversations is about giving a voice to Black experiences. It's about identifying racial disparities, providing solutions on ways you can help, and then moving towards actions that would lead to system-level changes. Our first step in accomplishing these system-level changes are through small actions we all can do. Over the past 4 weeks, we have made a call to action after each segment so we can start moving the dial towards change. As you will see pop on your screen, our call to actions have been the first week we asked you to invite your network. The second week was sign the I Stand for Racial Equality petition. The third week was share the YBLA post on facts about Black women. And last week, it was to share facts about Black men in corporate America. If you have not signed the petition yet, no worries. Please see the link in the chat because our leader, Allie, is going to drop it in there for you to sign the link.
Awesome. So for the next 2 weeks, the action will be supporting Black-owned businesses. This is one of my favorite times.
Yeah.
So this week, we'll focus on for-profit businesses, and next week, we'll be focused on nonprofit businesses.
Yeah.
We encourage you to take action to help us make a big jump towards our goal. So our goal is 2020. 2020 actions.
Who came up with that goal?
I think I did. So 2020 action towards bridging the gap of racial disparities. So later in the segment, we will give an update on our progress and a new call to action. We invite each and every one of you to join us in the call to action as we strive for change in the Charlotte community.
Absolutely.
So far, you've heard conversations from our young men and our young women from YBLA and from Black men and Black women in corporate America. Yeah. Each of these conversations have been educational and impactful. Yeah. Now we get to hear a few words from one of our viewers. Mr. Kevin Price, would you join us, please, sir?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So good afternoon, John and Tammy, and thank you for the opportunity to kick off the session with a few thoughts. Over the course of the past 4 weeks, I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversations that you've hosted, and it's really given me the opportunity to deepen my understanding of the barriers and obstacles that are prevalent in the Black community. But it's also presented me with the obligation to challenge what I think I know and to find ways that I can be action and expedite the true change. Having recently led a session at DHG much like this format, we explored the individual experiences of some of our team members to gain insight into what it's like to be Black in America. I got to tell you, it was powerful, much like these conversations are. What resonated with me was the amount of feedback that we received from some of the individuals in the audience that participated and watched the session that simply said, I was not aware. And I think that level of awareness is critical, it's powerful, but above all, it's necessary, not just for the cognitive understanding, but for personal development. We all have a role to play in making tomorrow better than today. So for the individuals to glean insight into what their fellow colleagues or neighbors may be experiencing, learning the ways in which they can make a difference, they can be the difference is invaluable. And that's something that I applaud you, Tammy and John, for pulling together. For all the panelists today and the panelists that have presented and that will, but also for the audience participating. Inclusion and diversity is very important at DHG, and it's something that we are thrilled to be a partner with you on this journey. And we look forward to seeing these 2020 actions as they come out, but also be a part of the continued part of these conversations. So thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Definitely really appreciate that. Great words. And I think everyone's getting a lot out of it. So thank you for that. So as we continue to move forward, we ask everyone to be engaged with the actions. If you missed any of the conversations in the past, please feel free. Don't worry about that. You can join us. You can actually view them on our website at www.youngblackleadership.org/community conversations. Tim?
Yes. So today is our 5th segment, and we have, now this time we get to do it together, have the honor of leading the conversation with 5 small business owners in the Charlotte community. You will have the opportunity to hear their experiences as Black entrepreneurs. We also ask you to join the conversation by sending us questions. You can put comments in the chat, and later Allie is going to come and let us know what questions you have. So now let's get started with this panelist.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
All right. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for our 5th segment of YBLA Community Conversations. So we're going to start out with some quick introductions, and I'm going to go to you, Chris. And the question is for you and everybody on our panelists is, give us your name of your business, the type of your business, how old is your business, and you have to answer one question for me. And the question is, if you knew then what you know now as running a business, would you do it all over again? And you answer it with a yes, a no, or maybe.
Very specific.
That's right. just 1, 2, or 3. That's it.
That's
okay. Good. And then just give me that, and then later we're gonna expound upon that. So Chris, go ahead and get us started.
Cool. Thanks for having me, guys. So Chris Moxley, I am 1/3 or, co-owner of 704 Shop here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're a Charlotte-based lifestyle brand. Mostly we do apparel, but we do other accessories as well. Our kind of mantra is we're fusing hometown pride with streetwear, right? So we pride ourselves on high quality apparel products, mostly. So basically what we're trying to do is bring people together through apparel. We started our company in 2013. So we're just about, just over 7 years old. And if I knew then what I know now, would I do it all over again? Absolutely. And so I'll leave it at that. That's a yes.
All right, thank you. So let's move to the Lloyd Brothers. That's what I call them. So y'all can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Awesome. How's everybody doing? My name is Malik Lloyd.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Khalil Lloyd.
Cool. Yeah, so we have a video production company here in Charlotte. We are 3 brothers. We also have a middle brother, Najim Lloyd, who helps us with the business. And we service nonprofits, tech agencies, creative agencies to create videos that stand the test of time. So that's about us.
We got started in 2016 officially. So December 19th, this year would be our 4-year anniversary. And like Malik mentioned, we are a video production company, but we do kind of expand our services into marketing consulting, and, even kind of branched out into website development as well. So happy to be on the call. To answer the question, if we know what we know now, will we do it all over again? The answer for me would be yes. And I'll let Malik give his thoughts.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay, awesome.
Yes. All right, we'll move to Sonia.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Tammy and John, for the opportunity to be part of this panel. So the name of my company is Sonia Barnes International. I've been in business almost 20 years. I am a personal lifestyle and brand consultant for women. And to answer your question, would I do this again? Yes, absolutely.
Right. Okay, Mr. Daryl.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I want to thank John and Tammy for what they're doing and for the whole concept of YBLA. I'm Daryl Williams, and I'm an owner of Neighboring Concepts, and we're a small architecture design practice that focus on architecture, planning, and interior design. And we've been in business for 24 years, since 1996. We've been in business. And the question is yes. Yes, I would do it again.
I guess I didn't ask a hard enough question.
No. We're waiting for the no.
All right.
We got one left.
That's right. Okay, we move on to, I call him Master Evans.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Martin, for allowing me to be a part of this panel. My name is Terrence Evans. I am the owner of King Tiger Taekwondo here in North Charlotte, and we have been in business. This June marks 17 years in business. We offer martial arts, after-school summer camp, and now virtual learning to the Charlotte community. And the answer to your question is, yes, we will do it all over again.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna go back around real quick, and we're gonna give each one of you guys 2 minutes to really just tell us about your business. Tell us a little bit about the uniqueness about your business as well. So then that way, I want to make sure that everyone that's listening has an opportunity to hear about your business. So I'm going to start. Actually, I'm going to go back in reverse order. So Terrence, if you would start first, and then we'll go from there.
Well, again, I own a martial arts school that offers after-school summer camp as well as now virtual learning. We're going to be jumping into that game starting on Monday, as a matter of fact. So our business, 17 years ago, we started off with a summer camp program. I wanted to be able to offer something for those kids to have activities to do instead of just staying at home or going to traditional camps. So we have been able to provide that to families as well as to kids from ages 4 years old and up to adults. We've had you guys as part of our family, and I appreciate the whole Martin clan being a part of that.
Awesome. Thank you.
So we have to add in that we are second Dan black belts. Right?
We were. I don't know if we still are.
No, you know what? Your ranks last forever. So you guys are
we're still second degree black belts. Thank you.
Black belts. Yes.
Absolutely. So the next one is Ms. Sonia Barnes. Could you please tell us a little bit about your business as well?
Yes, so I started my business almost 20 years ago as a corporate image consultant, working with executives, high-level influencers throughout the world, actually, and went abroad and then kind of came back. And then I just recently shifted a few years ago after I polled my clients to work with women on their second active life. So I am a life coach and style consultant for women of a certain age. And I do take a few good men.
All right.
A few good men. All right. That's good. So what is an image coach and a style?
So an image coach is like personal branding. That's been a big buzzword now in the last 10 years. And 17, 18 years ago when I started it, it was not that so. And so I do work on creating strong, dynamic, unique personal brands for women. And like I said, a few good men. So it's someone can come to me and they want to work on like, oh, I need a personal brand. And so I call it the ABCs and the D of a perception. And it's your appearance, your behavior, your communications, both verbal and nonverbal, and then your digital footprint.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very nice. Nicely done.
Learn something new.
Lloyd Visuals, you guys are next.
Awesome. Yeah, so we are Lloyd Visuals. We, again, we're a video production company, creative agency. We got started back in 2016. I was actually at App State University studying electronic media and broadcasting. And I actually started creating videos for campus organizations, animated videos, and things of that nature. And we actually started working with different small businesses, artists, politicians in the area of Charlotte and Boone. And Khalil kind of held down the Charlotte area, helped me kind of get the business structure together, and we've kind of built it up from there. And I'll let you.
We brand ourselves as digital storytellers. And so we really dig deep into the stories of people, organizations, and make sure that our message and story can resonate with their target audience. That's what it's all about. A story is going to really resonate with somebody more than statistics, stats or data will. And so that's what we like to bring to our clients. We've had the pleasure and opportunity of working with companies such as Airbnb, the BBC, the illustrious Young Black Leadership Alliance as well. And we just had a pleasure. We feel like entrepreneurship is the key to liberation. So we're thankful to be able to work together as brothers and to eventually provide generational wealth for our families.
Awesome. That's amazing. Thank you, sir. So Chris, would you please introduce you or give us your 2 minutes?
Yeah. So 704 Shop, as I indicated, I mean, we founded the company in 2013. The 3 owners were all UNC Charlotte alums. That's where we met. We were all roommates at different points in time. And when we started the company in 2013, it was just basically just the 3 of us. Today we have a team of 7. And when we first started, we kind of built our business on the pop-up model, right? So we would literally be going around, setting up a 6-foot, 10-foot table. You set up all your gear and it's hand-to-hand transactions. You get to talk to people about why you're doing what you're doing, why you feel like your mission is special, and people really get to connect with you in a way that's very hard to simulate digitally, right? Even when we were doing the pop-ups, we always had a website, but what we found out quickly was when we did pop-ups, we would sell a lot more and we would increase our web traffic as well. So today, obviously, so in addition to our online platform at 704shop.com, we also have a storefront down in South End, right next to, for those that are on the call that are familiar with Charlotte, next to Price's Chicken Coop, which is a Charlotte institution, you just gotta say. So we're down right in the heart of South End. And, today we also, so in addition to our retail business, we've expanded over the past couple of years to do a lot more B2B business as well. So we're really excited about that. That's an opportunity for us to really scale and grow our business in a way that's unique and different from our retail channel.
Awesome. And then Daryl, you had the final part of this one. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, as I shared earlier, we're a small, there's a diverse practice of professionals. We have about 18 people, and we started the firm to really work on helping to improve areas of our community that are physically and socially challenged. We started working in a lot of Charlotte neighborhoods, and we have evolved into a firm that gets involved in a lot of different types of projects, a variety of projects, mostly in urban areas. We've had the opportunity to really get involved in a lot of community engagement. We really believe strongly in community engagement to include everyone in the process so they can have ownership within their community. And so we work on a lot of recreational facilities, libraries, parks and recreation type projects that really change people's lives, that bring people together. We really believe that that everyone needs the opportunity to enjoy a great environment and to really appreciate beautiful buildings, regardless of where you live or work. And so we pride ourselves on getting people engaged in the design process so they feel good about the result and what comes out of it.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the beginning of your introduction, I asked you the one question. Of course, every one of you said yes. Okay. So not surprised by that, because there's something special about entrepreneurs. It's just in your DNA. But even though you all said yes and you would do it all over again, I'm sure there has been some challenges and some obstacles you had to face. So my question for you is, give me some unique challenges as Black entrepreneurs that you had to face when running your business. And Sonia, I'll start with you with that question.
Great. So thank you. I was going to raise my hand.
Sonia, who's ready?
Yes, I'm raising my hand. So actually, for me, I left a corporate career, to go into this business. And at the time, no one had ever even heard of image consulting or stylists. And I had to actually go on AOL because I knew what I wanted to do, but I wasn't sure what the name was. So as a Black female entrepreneur, if you know anything about the history of fashion and designers, Blacks have not always been recognized or given the acknowledgement for their work. Whereas I come back here to Charlotte, and now all of a sudden stylist is a buzzword, and everyone who loves to go shopping decides, oh, I think I want to be a stylist. Well, I had put my work in. Like, I went to New York to prove to be even somewhat credible. I went to New York. I studied with a big institution there to get the certification, then went to the London Image Institute. So I got credibility and education to qualify myself, and then came back and still initially had problems getting clients when, the others just decided, oh, they love to go shopping and would just, can go out and get the clients. But I had to really prove myself with additional education, additional credibility, just to, play level on that playing field.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I had to leave my town and then come back.
Okay, how about you, Master Evans? What kind of challenges did you have as a Black entrepreneur?
Well, my challenges are almost twofold. Not only being a Black entrepreneur, but I'm a Black man in martial arts that decided to go into a business that is not traditionally that a Black person would do. At the very beginning, when I first opened up my school, now you have to know that I started martial arts when I was 6 years old, so I have almost 40 years of experience. And I went to college, competed. I traveled all over and competed. So I had a very good pedigree, very, very good instructor. But when I first opened up my business, I didn't want people to even know what I looked like. And all of our marketing, all of our advertising, if you guys go back and look 17 years ago, my picture wasn't on anything, because I wanted people to come into our business based on what I was offering and not on who or what I looked like. So at the very beginning, no one knew who I looked like. No one knew what I was until they first walked into the school. And my lead instructor at the time was Master Shin, who is Korean, and he came to Charlotte with me as well. And if people remember, when they first came into school, most people thought that he was the instructor, that he was the owner, because he was Korean, he was the Asian guy. But then when I stepped in front of the classroom, they were like, "Oh wow, there's a Black guy." And so it was the challenge at first of not only being accepted, but also accepting myself and my abilities to be able to, to showcase what I was all about. And so it took years for me to even have that confidence in myself. If you fast forward, we now have 6 schools, within the Charlotte area, and each one of our schools, we're very diverse. We have Black, we have Asian, we have, white that are now running our programs. But at the very beginning, it was all about people accepting me being me and what I had to offer, and understanding that my product was just as superior as anybody else's product that was of a different color, be it white or be it Asian. And so, so it took extra on my end to be able to, to showcase that.
Right. Did you get any resistance when you would, like you said, you stepped in front of the classroom and they knew you as a Black man? What type of resistance would families not want to join your school?
It's almost a funny thing. I did get resistance, and to some. I also got resistance from within some of our own community. I had someone, a family tell me, a Black family tell me, that they wanted their kid to get traditional. They wanted them to get authentic training, and so, they went to a competitor of mine, many years ago, and again, that burnt me even more, that here I am, even within our own community, not being accepted or being looked at that, well, you know what, you may not be as good. And also when you think about it, most people consider what I do a hobby, and to be able to follow your dream and to make it into a business, I was always asked the question, well, what else do you do? Well, you have to do something else. And people looking at me like this wasn't something that was also providing for my family. But my wife is, as you guys know, is very much involved, within the business and the operations of everything. So So we did get resistance, but that initial core group of students were very vocal. You know, not only it was you guys, it was the Hartles. Everyone really talked about our program and talked about who we were and how we were. And the more referrals we got, then the more people became more accepting of who we are. And we were one of the first, there wasn't too many martial arts schools here in the North. So that also, kind of set the tone of what people's expectations were in regards to martial arts. So no matter who came in, be it another person that was Asian or whatever, then they were being compared to what we had to offer. And so that was a great thing.
Yeah, it's interesting between Sonia and Master Evans. Your stories are the same, and I'm sure I'm going to hear it even from the rest of you, unique challenges, because when we're talking with our young people on the first segment, one of the things that they said that was a challenge for them is that they have to work 2 times as harder. And it's interesting because even as teenagers, they know that they have to work double the work to be recognized, to be able to be given the, hey, we know you can do it, or no, I'd rather get authentic training, is that, you have to work so much harder to prove yourself. So it's interesting, the common thread, even from our young people to you guys. So I want to hear the unique challenges. And Sonia, you put your finger up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one quick comment on what Terrence mentioned, and that was the website. Like, it was, you were hesitant whether or not to put your picture on your website, because if they found out you were Black, it was like, I don't know. So you reminded me of that, oh my goodness. And I still know Black female entrepreneurs, they won't put their picture on their website. So we have to play that game of, do we want them to know? If they find us out, will they scan? So I just wanted to add to that point that.
I think that's another really good point, because again, as we are no matter the space, because we had the same conversation with the men in corporate America, there's a lot of extra processing that we're doing being Blacks, and in corporate America now I hear the same extra processing you guys are doing. I was like, am I the face of the organization? Now, some people would never even have to think about that thought.
That's right.
But this is things that you guys are thinking about. So that's a great point. Yeah.
And I want to move over to Lloyd Brothers to me. Lloyd Visuals. You're the youngest of the group. Your business has been in existence for 4 years. So many other panelists have had 20 years, 7 years, and so forth. So as the young ones of the group, as entrepreneurs, what unique challenges have you faced as being millennials now?
Yeah, sure. And big shout out to Master Williams and Miss Sonia. Just hearing about your stories really helps us kind of process what we're going through right now. And hopefully we can connect after this to learn more. We also kind of grew up in a very disciplined martial arts background. Our father also studied Kung Fu and Tai Chi, so we'll have to make sure we make that connection. But yeah, so our challenges really fall in between the intersections of resources and knowledge and education, right? So there's a huge learning curve when you hop out into this entrepreneurial journey and endeavor. For me, when I graduated from UNC Charlotte in December of 2014, I immediately stepped into a corporate field where I was working in a healthcare company as a healthcare consultant. And once I got there, I immediately realized that this is not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And a lot of those challenges came about because I felt like I was a bit outspoken. Nobody around me really looked like me. And so I would have to fight an uphill battle to do my job at the level that I felt like it needed to be done. But at the same time, I felt some resistance and scrutiny from leadership. And so with that experience, it really provoked me to go ahead and say, you know what, Malik was simultaneously going into Appalachian State. And I said, I don't want you to have to work 2-3 jobs like I did throughout college. You're really talented in cinematography. At the time, he was winning national competitions in high school for cinematography and some of the content that he was creating. And so I saw an opportunity really before social media blew up into what it was now, is that we can create content, we can really turn our passion into a profession. And so over the years, we've kind of had to shake through and navigate through the ebbs and flows of life and entrepreneurship. But some of those main challenges, like I mentioned, were resources, right? So for us, what I was able to do as I was working at my corporate job is funnel a lot of my money and the resources that I was getting into buying equipment. And outside of that, in terms of like knowledge, so what I realized is when I was going through schooling and even when I attended UNC Charlotte, I didn't learn much about real estate, right? I didn't learn much about accounting and the wealth building, insurance and protection. And so I feel like these are some of the things now that we're coming to know about as we are running our own businesses. I think what's also very important is to understand the relationships between small business owners and banks. And how to, leverage to make sure that, your credit is in a good place, your personal financial statements are good, you haven't checking your profit and loss statements and all of the fun financial, options and things that you have to go through. It's something that we're learning on the fly. But all in all, I always tell the team that, entrepreneurship is the hardest thing that I've ever done, but it's the best thing that we've chosen to do, and wouldn't trade it for the world. Working with my two younger brothers and then working within the community is something that's very, very near and dear to our heart. I remember vividly in 2016 when there were, just a lot of turmoil going on right here in our backyard with Keith Lamont Scott being killed, and I remember sitting in my cubicle and feeling powerless and feeling like there was nothing that I can do here. And I felt that I needed to do more. And so that really propelled me to make the decision to quit my job in 2017 and devote all of my time into Lloyd Visuals so that I can be on these calls on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock so that I can volunteer in within my communities. And so that's what really matters to us. And I'm sure we'll face a lot of other challenges, but I'd rather face them now and learn along the way than to have regrets later on down the line. So I'll pause there and I'll allow Malik to.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Before you go, Malik, I know we're gonna bounce just a little bit. We'll come back around to you in a second, but I want to hear, since we went from the younger side of this, I want to go to a more seasoned entrepreneur. He automatically unmuted himself, so I'm going to go to Daryl to give us a seasoned approach from his challenges, because you've had a few, I'm sure.
Yeah, for me, I think it was the not just starting a business, but just being in the architect's profession. I stumbled into the profession. I didn't know any architects, period, black or white, and I stumbled into it. And I didn't really meet a black architect until I started college. And so I think it's a white man's profession. We got 13. The U.S. is made up of about 13% of us. Of African Americans, and the architecture profession has less than 2%. And for black females, it's even much less than that. So that was the first challenge. And working in several companies, starting out of school, it was very frustrating. And it wasn't until I met our former mayor, Harvey Gantt, and I started working for him, is when I really got to learn all aspects of the architecture profession. I got to do whatever everyone else was doing to really learn, to the extent that I had enough courage to, with two other partners at the time, to actually start Neighboring Concepts. And so, of course, resources is always the challenge. And I think we started off working out of a 500 square foot space behind John C. Smith campus in what was called the West Charlotte Incubator. And so we started off there, and over the years, my other two partners moved on, but we've continued to really keep the firm going. But it's always a challenge. I think it's the main thing is the perception of what some perceive minority business to be, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges. And getting calls from majority companies for us to partner with them on projects, and want us to just play a small role. We've turned down a lot of work as a result of that. We like getting involved in the whole project and being a part of everything so that we can learn and we can grow and we can do it on our own in the future. So we do a lot of partnering. And so, yeah, that's the biggest challenge, is just the perception of what one think of you without having worked with you before, just looking at you. And so that's the biggest challenge in this profession.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that, because one thing that stuck out to me, what you said, Daryl, was Harvey Gantt. He gave you the opportunity.
That's right.
And you never know how far you would have gotten if you didn't have someone already in that space to pull you in. Mm-hmm. So having access is what's so important. And even in YBLA, that's one of the things we really focus hard on, is having relationships with the community. Like you guys, y'all are very, very successful. So you are the type of people we want to put in front of the next generation of young men and women, so they will have that social capital, another buzzword that we hear, to be able to help them advance. So that is very, very important in moving forward. We got to have people there. Once you get there, you have an obligation, you have a responsibility to help someone else get where you are.
Preach.
Yeah. I didn't mean to preach. Let me back this like that. Okay. I want to go over to you, Chris. Give me some of the unique challenges and obstacles that you have faced.
Okay. I think for us, 704 Shop is, for those that aren't aware, I mean, it's basically, at the ownership level, it's two Black guys and a white guy, right? Jerry Jerry Shepard is African-American male, Scott Wooten's a white male. So when you put the three of us together, right, two Black guys and a white guy. And I think sometimes people, for me in particular, I'm probably, and I don't think my business partners would mind me saying this, I'm probably the most client-facing, of the three of us, right? I do a lot of public speaking. I do a lot of engagement with our audiences and things like that. Whether it be virtually or in person, et cetera, attending networking functions, trying to find and seek out opportunities for us. And in a lot of cases, now I'll preface this by saying that the embrace is people are more accepting of me than they are not, but you certainly get a lot of, times where it's like, hey, I'm Chris Moxley. I'm, co-owner of 704 Shop. And people are taken aback by the fact that I'm one of the owners of this successful brand that in many cases they've already heard of and that they're aware of, and that they didn't know that any, Black folks, we'll say, were involved in the running of the business. And so, you still get that. I remember when we first opened our store, when we would, this is before we kind of expanded out and now we have staff and all this kind of stuff. But we were the ones, basically having to run our store. My business partner, Scott, was there most of the time, but Jerry and I would help out like on the weekends because we have our day jobs and things like that as well. So on the weekends we would be there. And, people would come into the store a lot of times and they'll say, maybe they want to speak to a manager or, whatever it is. And when you tell them that this is your company, this is your store, not only are you the manager, but you're the owner of the actual store. And you kind of get like this deer in headlights reaction sometimes. And, unfortunately, it's not something that I'm used to it, now. I think Jerry is used to it as well. And it's one of those things where it's like, we tell that to Scott, we would tell that to Scott like early on. And, we're 2 decades worth of friendship at this point. So we can speak candidly around issues, of race and things like that. And we can kind of joke about it, but, it can be a serious, situation. And so I think that's one of the things is just like, that's a unique challenge, right? Because you never really know how people are perceiving you. Like, are they taking you serious? Are they just acting like they're taking you serious? I would much rather you just actually don't take me serious. If you don't if you don't really see me as a human being,
Right.
then we can not really have to interact. That's probably going to be a better experience for me and probably for you. And I'll rather go find opportunities with people that do genuinely want to do business with us and want to support us in a way that's going to be meaningful. So I would just share that, I think, as probably one unique challenge that I run into in socially in terms of being an African American male entrepreneur.
Yeah, thank you for that, because using the same words here, perception, and a few of y'all use that, how you would be perceived, and Master Evans won't put your face on the cover, or it's the same thing. And that's the reason why one of our vision for YBLA is that we are able to create this new reality where the world will perceive young Black men and women as role models, as leaders. So we envision one day that maybe our great grandchildren will walk in a business and they ask for the owner. When a Black person stand up, they expect the Black person to be the owner.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of what we want.
Absolutely. So I'm going to jump on to the next question here.
Last question.
Yeah, last
COVID.
question, and we'll take some from the chat. So obviously with COVID-19, there's been a lot of pivoting, a lot of business change. So one of the statistics that we found is that the National Bureau of Economics found that the businesses, Black or African-American businesses, plummeted from 1.1 million in February to 640,000 of them in April. So that's a loss of 440,000 businesses and a loss of 41%. Black businesses of 41%. So interesting in hearing how COVID has impacted each of your businesses. And I'll just ask you for just a quick answer. We'll just do a round robin on that. So I'll start with you, Sonia, and then Terrence, Daryl, Lloyd, and Chris.
Well, I've had to take my shopping clients visually. So I do a lot of virtual shopping and coaching, online coaching. So it's worked out for me.
So when you say online shopping, so is it like y'all are shopping together online, or?
No, I actually have a program that I send clients certain looks, especially since COVID, it was the new work from home look. And so I just send a lot of my clients links to ensembles that they could use for work from home or weekend. And then my coaching clients, we coach through Zoom. So it works.
Nice. I'm sure you're going to get some business. You're going to get some business here.
And you can send me some of those links.
Just throw it in the chat.
I'm in there. I got you covered. Got you covered.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Terrence.
For us, we had to transition to running classes through Zoom. So we started offering, multiple classes throughout the day on Zoom. As we transitioned 4 to 5 weeks into the pandemic, we started offering classes out in the parking lot. So we would block off a portion of our parking lot. Of course, we were subject to weather. So if it was too hot or if it rained, then, we had to cancel those classes. And then we had to we started running day camps sooner than normal. So that way, those parents that were essential or those parents that had to go back to work early, we were providing a place for their children to be. So that's how we had to pivot, during the time.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah, for us, it's, I guess, having the transition to work from home, and we can't complain too much because at least we continue to work. I think there are a lot of companies that really can't work. And so that's the biggest challenge, is just getting used to working at home and doing a lot of Zoom meetings with clients and with ourselves, so we can continue to communicate. And I mentioned earlier about the challenge of being a minority business. I think because as a Black business, we have to rely a lot on public work. We don't get a lot of private business, but that's a benefit now because public projects are continuing. Even though they're slowing down, a lot of private projects have stopped. So we're fortunate that we continue to work.
Awesome. Lloyd Brothers.
Yeah, well, we're definitely grateful to still be here as well. We have slowed down our video production, so not as many filming events or anything like that, of course, but we've been able to pivot to animation, to social media content, and helping with marketing for brands and companies, nonprofits in the area. So that's kind of how we've pivoted from filming to mainly editing and marketing consulting.
Awesome. And Chris, yours last. I know you got a great story.
Yeah, real quickly, I mean, you know, similar to Terrence, I mean, we have a storefront, so we had to close our store for just over 2 months. You know, from the last week of March through we reopened the first week in June. But fortunately, we built our business online, so we didn't have to retrain our audiences to shop with us online. We incentivized online shopping by doing free shipping as well. So that helped. Actually, we continue to still offer free shipping on our website. But I think the biggest thing that's really helped us out was, you know, the deployment of the fashion masks that we've been doing. They really took off, you know, as a result of obviously COVID, but not just COVID, but the CDC changing their guidelines to recommend masks in public spaces. In certain states, you have state mandates to wear masks even inside private business establishments, et cetera. So the demand for the fashion masks that, you know, just generally speaking, is very high. And then we have a very high quality, you know, really cool looking designs and things of that nature that we've been able to offer. And so also the mask opportunity has, the masks have created an opportunity for us to really start doing a lot more business to business relationships as well, including with the city of Charlotte, who now purchase masks from us. You guys have probably seen, you know, like the bus drivers and firefighters, police officers, city workers, et cetera. You know, the city purchases masks from us in bulk to provide for city employees. So it's been really good, but you know, obviously bittersweet circumstances under which we've been able to operate, but we're happy to be able to pivot and think outside the box and offer something new.
Okay, thanks, Chris. We have a question from the chat. I want to put one of those in there, and I'm going to gear this question to Miss Sonia and Master Evans because your stories are relating to this. One of the viewers wrote, I have a question for the panel in regards to showing your face in fear of being judged. Said, I'm an African American and I've been struggling with setting up a LinkedIn profile for that very reason. I feel like before meeting clients and other contacts, they will see it and prejudge. She's asking, what do you think and how do you deal with it? How did y'all deal with that? We'll start with you, Sonia.
I'm gonna give you some coaching.
I was like, I'm gonna encourage her to put it up and let it support her credentials because it is what it is, especially in this day and time. You know, 15 years ago, it might have been a different story, but put it up and own it.
Okay.
And I would say the same, you know, mine was 17 years ago when I had that fear. If it was now, then I would be the forefront of the marketing and the ads because of that belief, not only that I have in myself, but of the community, you know, that we have. So I say the same.
Do you think the world is ready?
Ready or not.
Here I come.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so last quick question. How can others support Black businesses? So who wants to jump on that one first?
Well, I'll try that. Well, I think that to basically support them, spend money with them. And if you're dissatisfied with something that service, tell them, you know, don't go talk about them, talk to them directly and let them know what you're dissatisfied with. So that's the thing I think is best is to too often we go into these places and we complain to others about a business, but it's best to get that feedback directly from customers so they can improve the business.
Yeah, I would add that you know, so I think that's the primary way is to literally support them with your dollars and your support. In addition to that, I think that there's room for more programs around small business incubators and small business accelerator programs. I know, so I serve on the executive committee at the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance, and the foundation that they have there, they have a new program called Scale Up CLT. Well, Scale Up CLT is a new iteration of an old program, but basically, you know, the idea is to teach businesses tools and tricks on basically like how to scale your business from, you know, from 250,000, let's just say that's where you are now, up to over $1 million in revenue. And so they have that program. I think the city of Charlotte actually has a similar program, you know, around scaling one's business. And I just think we have to do more of that. Also, we have to refer each other. We have to put each other in positions of success. You know, Khalil can probably attest to this. You know, one of the things that I'm always constantly trying to do is connect small Black entrepreneurs with other opportunities for them to be successful. And so I certainly do that within my network. So.
And I just piggyback on what Chris said, is that we have to support each other, referring others to support the businesses that we patronize as well too. So, you know, I'm always trying to post and to give my shout outs, you know, whenever I can in regards to the businesses that I go out to support.
Looking good.
Well, yeah, I know. I have a lot of those hats, and my son needs to be a model for you, by the way. So, but again, you know, just supporting within ourselves, and then, you know, encouraging others to do the same, and spending the money. And then what Mr. Williams spoke about as well too, is that so many of us are quick to, you know, to go on to social media and to talk about certain businesses. But, you know, as the Lloyd Brothers also said, sometimes we need help with the education of helping other entrepreneurs become better entrepreneurs. And so if that education is not there, then we're getting it from our community. And so sometimes we just need that help, or that, hey, you know, by the way, you need to work on X, Y, Z. So, so that's my 2 cents.
And I would say, just real briefly, is to seek out Black-owned small businesses. You know, people use the same florist, caterers. We also have those businesses as well, but actually just like get outside your comfort zone and try a Black-owned business. You know, your caterer, your florist, your lawn, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And
now, yeah, I just want to promote something before I forget. There's an innovation fund. The first round has already occurred. There's a second round that's coming up for mostly for minority businesses, and it's through Charlotte Center City Partners website, and you can get up to $40,000. It's a grant. It's not a loan, and so the first round is already complete, and they're going to be doing a second round coming up. So if you go to Charlotte Center City Partners website, you'll find that information, and it can really help your business. Honeywell is providing the funding, and they've already funded over $1 million. And there's going to be a second, like I said, a second round that's also $1 million. So I wanted to mention that before I forget.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And the Lloyd Brothers?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, within our business of storytelling and digital storytelling, representation is very important, whether it's in the work that you do or the branding that you portray, the stories you tell, making sure diverse voices are at the forefront of what you're doing, so that you can be aware of everything going on in the community.
Okay. And Daryl, we will get that information and make sure that the audience get that, because that's very important. And the last plug I want to say, and as the Lloyd Brothers finish, of course, y'all know what we do. We're building young Black men and women. And when I see Lloyd Visuals, they are the youngest here, our millennials, I have to say we are in such good hands with the next generation of young people that they blow our minds. So I have to just give a major shout out for these young men. They're the youngest one on the panel, but they exude the professionalism of a grown person, as my mom used to say. Awesome. It's a pleasure to work with young Black men and women that are doing amazing things, and then we get to highlight them and show them because they are the next generation. And I just had to give a major shout out for Lloyd Visuals, because y'all make us so proud in the next generation and moving forward, because I tell you, you're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Really?
I love young people, y'all. I love young people. But anyway, speaking of a young person,
And speaking of moving forward,
that's right. Miss Allie is she's a part of our program, and she's gonna give us an update on the call to actions.
Yes, so we have an update from last week for our call to action. We have now 367 actions, and that means we've completed 18% of our total goal of 2,020 actions towards bridging the gap, racial disparities. Woohoo! Yes. And now for this week's action, we have 3 steps towards it, and it's all based on supporting Black businesses. So the first step is to buy something from a Black-owned business this week. And on the slide, you'll see a link for the Charlotte Observer, which lists out a lot of local Black-owned businesses. And secondly, we want to post a picture and use the hashtag #StandCLT, Stand Charlotte. And thirdly, we want to take a poll. We want you to take a poll by Monday, and the poll should be on the slide that you guys are viewing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 3 actions, 3 steps to the actions that we want you guys to go for this week. So we can raise that number.
That's right. That's right. And actually, when she's talking about the poll, we're actually going to send out an email on Monday with the poll.
My bad.
So for all the ones, all the ones that joined us today, so you can let us know who you visited and how that goes, because we're going to add it to our actions, because we're really serious about moving that needle towards system level changes in Charlotte. So yeah, thank you.
No problem.
All righty.
I'll join back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Coming back. Well,
That was so fun.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
We want to thank our panelists.
Oh,
Amazing.
man.
Our panelists on the joining us today. So we really appreciate that.
And I want to make that charge out there for everyone to support a Black business. Super, super important. We kind of gave you some really easy actions kind of leading up, but now we want to give you something that is going to make a difference in the community. And that's what these actions are about. It's really making a difference. People have called me on the phone and said, hey, John, how can we help?
Right.
This is one clear way to help. So I'm going to be committed to supporting Black businesses all week.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go out and find some to support. I'm gonna try to get one of them 704 masks. If I can't get the mask, because they seem to be sold out, the city people got them all. If I can't get a mask, I'm gonna try to get a shirt or a hat, and then support each one of the businesses. And I think that's super important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone for joining 5th segment of phase 1. We have one more segment, which is going to be super important for us next week. We hope you enjoy hearing from the Black small business owners. I know I had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
And we want to thank our partner, of course, DHG and their team for doing all the hard work and the support and the assistance that they've given us to this project. So next week, we're going to do something a little bit different. So we'll be celebrating Black Philanthropy Month. We're going to be hosting a virtual fundraiser. So for 6 Black-led nonprofit organizations. So we're super excited about that. I would say, hey, come, be ready to support. Again, action is what we're talking about. That's the reason why we created. We've had 5 weeks of listening. Now it's time to get forward and continue to do our actions. So we're just super excited about that.
Yes, we are. So we're looking forward to seeing you all back. And please invite your friends and your network so we can join in, lifting up these nonprofit organizations that we're going to talk about next week.
Let's be about action.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Enjoyed being a part of this with you guys.
Thank you.